Hey guys, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Got a lot of people here already. Thank you so much for being early. We had a packed registration for this one, guys. So I'm glad you got here. Hopefully nobody gets bumped. This is going up by about 100 people a second. That is huge. Maybe 50. 50. Wow. Yeah, it's big. Can everybody hear me okay? Just want to make sure you guys, what is going on? Anthony, how are you? Ron? Yeah, dude, David's on. Nice, man. Mike's here. Chris, what's going on? Very cool. Very, very cool. Everybody can hear me okay. I want to make sure also that you guys can see my screen. I've had a lot of questions about this background that we chose. This, in fact, is not Michael, but we thought it looked like him, so we threw it in. Nice, man. Nice. Everybody can see the screen, right? Give me a 1 if you can see the screen, yeah? And you can see Michael's doppelganger there. Nice. Uno. Nice there. I'll get to see you. Hans, what's going on? Nathan, Ryan. Man, we got a packed house. This is so cool. You guys, it's smart for you to be here, honestly, because this is going to be a good one. I haven't talked a lot, publicly, at least, about SEO in a while. It's mostly because, I'll be real honest with you. I haven't been 100% involved. I figured out ways to automate a lot of the process. And that is working like gangbusters. Michael has been a huge help. We've been working together. He's had some really amazing results. And that's exactly why we're hosting this webinar tonight, is to show you guys what we're doing, how we're doing it, et cetera, et cetera. So listen, I'm going to come back here in just a minute, okay? I want to just kick this thing off a little bit. We're going to let some more people come in. I'm going to play my song as I always do. And we'll, give it like 2 minutes, okay? I'm going to go grab a glass of water. We've got a lot of people coming in still, so let's wait for them, and then we're going to kick this thing off. All right? Who's ready? Who's excited for this one? Give me that keyboard head smash if you guys are stoked for this. Yeah, what's up, guys? How is everybody doing? So happy to have you guys on. Thank you for being here with us. Just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay one more time. I ran away. I got a glass of water. I came back, and stranger things have happened. I've lost connection before them. Okay, everyone can see me. Give me a 1 so you can see my screen, and you can hear me okay. Let's get a 1 in there. Nice. Nice. Okay, well, we have a lot of people on. Where are you guys in the world? I always love to ask this question. Where in the world are you? Abdullah, Al, Alberto, Anthony, Anton, Bilal, Bill, Bogdan, 2 Bogdans, Brian, lots of Brians on here, a couple of Carolines, Chris, lots of Chris's, Collins, Dan's. Guys, I can't go through every name here. Why don't you throw it in the box? Where are you coming to us from in the planet? Let's see, New Zealand. So we'll have competition. We'll see who's the furthest away. New Zealand, Ottawa, Canada, nice. Nashville, LA, another New Zealander. Look at you guys. I got it. UK, Virginia, Kansas City. Okay, wow, Thailand. Patrick's in Thailand. Very, very cool. Jakarta, Indonesia. Nathan, wow, thanks for being here. All right, John's in Chicago. Go Cubbies. That's right, baby. I'm not too far from you. Manish, nice. India, 5:30 a.m. Made it on. I couldn't thank you enough, guys. So LA, Detroit, Melbourne, Ohio, Toronto, Palm Springs. Nice. Bilal's in Mars. I think that wins. So Bilal, you take the cake there. So you're in Mars. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you again for being here. I know, the impetus for this webinar was, I haven't done a really SEO-focused / PBN-focused webinar in a while. I wanted to get back to it. I've been seeing a lot of great results behind the scenes. I've been, of course, if you guys have kept up with me, if it's your first webinar, welcome with me. If it's, if you're a repeat webinar attendee, thank you for being back. So if you know me and you know what I've got going on kind of behind the scenes, I've got a lot going on. I'm running 7 businesses. Many of them do focus on SEO, but it hit the back burner for me because I figured out ways to automate it. Systems and processes and softwares and really cool stuff that automate the process of getting rankings. But checking in with Michael and checking in, with some of my other SEOs out there, there's just a lot that's been going on. And I think a lot of SEO has just gotten overcomplicated. I mean, if you guys are SEOs and you think that there's just too much garbage out there, that it's just gotten too damn complicated to rank your site, let me get a 1. If you guys agree with me on that. Because I think there's just too much BS out there. There's too many people spouting this theory, spouting that theory. I mean, SEO at its core, wow, Thomas is dead serious. I don't think I've ever seen so many 1s. Good job, guys. But, the point being, we all overcomplicate it, right? I'm guilty of overthinking SEO. I think every SEO in the planet is guilty of the same thing, probably thinking that you're guilty of it too. So I wanted to bring on Michael to help clarify a lot of what's going on. So I've got a few slides for you here, and then we'll jump into it. So bear with me, guys. We'll make it short. We'll get to the meat and potatoes. Okay, so obviously I want to thank you guys for being here, but more, I promise you, we're going to make you one big fat promise, okay? By the end of this webinar, all right, you'll have learned exactly how to get crazy first-page rankings without breaking your back or the bank, okay, in 10 days or less. All while working less, dealing with less BS. I mean, how many of us deal with how much BS in SEO, right? Whether it's pay-per-lead or client SEO, or you're out there trying to rank your own websites for an affiliate site, or if it's even your own brand. There's just a lot of BS that comes along with the SEO game. So we want you to deal with less of that, and we want you to build better links, okay? Because at the end of the day, what is SEO? It's about building links. We want you to do that in less time, with less effort, and the best part of what we're going to teach you here, guys, is that it's stupid simple. Literally, you have to create systems and processes by which people can follow. And these can't be overly complicated systems and processes, because here's what happens. You're going to wind up doing it yourself. You're going to be the only person in the world with a handful of others like us on this webinar that would understand your systems and processes. right? So we've created a stupid simple system by which you can follow to get rankings in a very crazy short amount of time, okay? And you'll also hit the first page. So Michael's proven it to me time and time again. He's been a big influence on me, and I want to introduce him to you guys. Does that sound like a plan? Who is pumped up? Let me get the keyboard head smash. And if you guys haven't been on my webinars before, just throw your head right on your keyboard. I love it. Nice, nice. William in the house. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Wes, I'm seeing a lot of familiar names and a whole hell of a lot of keyboard head smashes. I believe Nathan just knocked himself out cold. Mike Daly, what's up? All right, guys. So here's the thing. I am going to just bring Michael on in just a second. But first, okay, I want you to stick around. I want you guys to stick around to the end of this webinar because we're going to do something really, really cool for you. Okay, we're going to give you the exact checklist that we use, and by we I mean Michael, uses to grab first page rankings for hyper-competitive keywords in record time, like 10 days or less, guys, over and over and over and over. And this is a checklist that you can pass on, right? This is how you build infrastructure. Like I said, I'm going back to it, systems, procedures, and infrastructure. This is something tangible that you'll get at the end of this webinar that you can pass on to your staff, whether that's a VA or even if it's just you, right? You can use it every single time you want to rank, okay? But first, before we get into it, let me ask you a question. How many of you guys know who the hell I am? Have you been on one of my webinars before? If you have, give me a 1. If you have not, give me a 2. Don't worry, I won't think less of you. Throw 1 in the box if you've been on. Okay, a couple of 2s in here. Colin, nice. Okay, I don't know what a 0.2 is, Wes, but all right. David, best of the best. Thanks, man. You are. Oscar, what's going on? Nice, 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 nice. Okay, Darren says my face looks familiar. Get out of here, Darren. All right, good. So a lot of you guys have been on. We're getting a few of you that haven't. By the way, you guys are massively responsive here. That was literally 500 1s and 2s mixed together that just shot through here. Awesome. Okay, so for the 2s out there, so who am I, right? Well, this is my ugly mug needing a shave. Okay, and my name is Brian Burt. Thank you for being here. I'm an online marketer. I typically do $100,000 plus a month. You know, it's actually this is an older slide. I'll be honest with you. I copied and pasted this slide because it's pretty universal. I'm well above that now. I own multiple businesses. In fact, 7 going on 8. I have 10 plus years in pay-per-lead, client SEO. You name it, I've pretty much done it when it comes to search engine optimization, search engine marketing, etc., etc. And to date, I've hosted over 100 webinars. So that's me. And if you can't tell, I love doing these webinars for you guys. We do them, of course, out of the goodness of our own heart. We're not charging you guys. This type of content, no shit we could charge you for. You're going to get a lot of value out of this. And other people do charge it. You know, 150, I've seen more for these types of webinars. Or you have to be a part of their exclusive club. You've got to be paying for it. Dude, we put this stuff out there for you because it's fun. We love it. And plus, I'm sick of people overcomplicating the whole SEO game, right? Just stick to a few things, be good at them, and make sure you're consistent. And you guys can achieve these rankings that Michael and I achieve all the time. Sound good? Who wants to hear from Michael? Let me get a 1, 2, whatever emoji you want to throw in there. What do you think? Should we hear from Michael? I mean, really, he's the brains behind the operation right now. All right, nice. Let me pull him on. Michael, where are you? I hope he's on here. You know, it wouldn't be a Brian Burt webinar if I didn't have at least 1 or 2 technical.
Hey, I just got here.
Nice. Michael, welcome, man. I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much.
It's Darren, sorry.
Oh, Darren.
Yeah, I just got back from a meeting, so I was going over to
Okay, so how many of you guys, we got a surprise. Thanks for crashing the party, man. Hey, Darren. Thanks for crashing the party. How many of you guys know Darren? So Darren is my partner in the Paper Lead Army. Let's get a 1 for Darren. Yeah? Nice. We'll try to get Michael on. Where in the world? Darren, do you see Michael? I'm trying to get him on. Let's see. Michael, if you're in here He's Michael's duct taped. Who said that? Chris. Yeah, he's duct taped. I got him here in the corner. I've got to pull it off real quick.
I don't see him unless he has a different name.
Yeah, unless he's under a different name. Hey, Michael, if you're in here, throw something into the chat box. Let's make sure he's in here. Okay, hang on, guys. Hang on just a second for me. I'm gonna find Michael. Pause. Hey, Darren, why don't you tell a really cool story?
Okay, listen. Two guys walk into a bar. I think he's here. Like, it's Mike D. Is that right? Or Mike E?
Oh, Michael, EBM Business. Man, you know what? In the future, I got to start telling people to name themselves appropriately here. Okay, let me get him on for you guys. I think I found him. Mike EBMM Business, whatever that is. Okay, let me get you on. I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter here. Hit OK. And can we hear you?
Everyone, you can hear me now? You found me?
There he is. There he is. Nice, dude. What is this EBM business name that you had? I mean, you can't be so cryptic, dude. What the heck?
It was it's an email address I use, and I can't even get into that.
What happened was.
Yeah, it's back in my noob days doing stuff I don't even want to really talk about.
No worries. Well, thank you so much for being here, dude. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. You guys, we really have something special in store for you here. Michael, I'll tell you what, man. Why don't you just go ahead and take the screen and let you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about who you are, because I know a lot of us know you, and I know a lot of us on this webinar are waiting to get to know you.
Let's see.
Mike D says, I am not Michael Milos. Got it. That's hilarious.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Perfect. Let's get a one if you guys can see Michael's screen and can hear him okay.
Yeah, everyone can hear me too?
Perfect. Take it away, brother.
All right. Okay, so this is a stupid simple guide for ranking hyper-competitive local keywords in under 10 days without breaking your bank or your back. Of course, I said it backwards, but before we get into all that, who the hell is Michael Milos? I'm not sure if everyone knows me here. So just a quick little background. I'm the owner of SERP Focus. It's a little blog I started just putting out SEO content. Don't really do anything special there besides give away, information and stuff that I'm doing in my business and in the SEO industry. The creator of How I Rank for Chicago SEO Keywords course, which is actually how I ranked my agency, M. Milos Marketing Inc., michaelmilos.com. For Chicago SEO keywords. I did a PBN training course for Local Profit Breakthrough. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with that course. I run the SERP Focus PBN link swap group. That's a Skype group where a bunch of people actually swap back and forth their private network links and trade links. I also provide SEO consulting to multi-million-dollar business owners. This is something I've actually been doing more recently. Aside from just ranking my own sites, I've found a lot of big businesses that pay a lot of money to help you build out their company's SEO infrastructure, their internal workings and stuff. So I've been doing that a lot more. But in general, I make most of my money between client SEO, PPL, pay per sale, e-commerce, and more recently affiliate marketing as well. So I'm kind of really spread out. But the thing is that every single one of these things that I do to generate an income, they all involve SEO. My PPL, my pay-per-sale sites, the e-commerce I do, the affiliate marketing. SEO is pretty much the foundation of all my different streams of revenue. So the important thing to understand, though, is I didn't really always know what I was doing. It definitely took a lot of understanding to get to where I'm at with my SEO. In the beginning, I focused way too much on individual SEO tactics. I didn't really spend too much time growing my understanding of optimization and the foundation of what SEO really is. I built a lot of backlinks, and I focused way too much on technical aspects like anchor text and number of links, especially when analyzing competition and such things. I spent more time analyzing backlink metrics instead of understanding search intent and content structuring. It was all a bunch of, digging into numbers and competitive analysis and looking at all this data and trying to understand how to do SEO while bringing in all this data makes it even way more confusing, and it definitely kept me running around in circles for a very long time. I did spend a lot of time too analyzing competition and always looking for those, those easy keywords that a lot of people talk about, where you could just, shoot up through the rankings overnight, make millions of dollars. They're no competition, but 500,000 searches a month, and it kept me kind of going in that endless spiral, trying to figure out where I can easily make my money or easily rank. And I didn't really focus too much on the actual ranking aspect or how I was performing my SEO. And this all really came down to the main thought that I had, that SEO was very technical and it was very hard, which I can tell you where I'm at today is definitely not the case. SEO is really not that technical, and when you have a certain understanding of how things work, it's really not hard at all. So now
Michael?
I spend, yeah.
Hey, let me talk to you a little bit about that, dude, because this is something that, and sorry to interrupt, but this is something that really drives me crazy. You thought SEO was technical and hard, and I think that's really been, perpetuated by the industry, because we got so many quote-unquote gurus out there that are selling their shit. Right? They want you to buy their shit. So their shit being their course, right? They want you to buy this next hot PBN trick. PBNs have been around forever. They used to be called mini nets, 10 years ago. I don't know if you remember that. But it just seems to me that there's a very cyclical nature to SEO, where these same strategies just keep getting repurposed, repackaged, and then resold to the public, and it becomes more technical and more daunting almost every single time a new course comes out that everybody's talking about. I mean, do you agree with me on that?
Oh yeah, it's all about, like I said, SEO tactics and like this one thing or that one thing, when really it's all the same thing when you really understand what SEO is. But yeah, if everyone just wants to bottle up one little piece of it and sell it, and then bottle up another little piece and sell it, and once they burn out, they go back around and they pick another little tactic, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the history of our industry.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with you, man. I just wanted to reiterate that so everybody heard it. I know you and I have had that conversation many times behind closed doors, but not publicly. And I just wanted everyone listening right now, don't think, if you're, no matter where you are in SEO, if you're 10 years in like me, or you're just getting started, don't think it's that technical and that hard. It's basic concepts you need to understand, and then it's consistency. Michael, keep going, man.
Okay, that's the main point, is I don't spend time guessing on my SEO or ranking strategy anymore. I have an understanding. It's more of what's the plan of what's going to happen next. And that's the real question, the question that we want to go over in this webinar. But do you want to not have to guess about your SEO strategy? Do you want to not have to know what links do you need, or what anchor text you need to use, or what these individual, building an IFTTT network or a PBN or whatever it is, not have to really guess, because you know the understanding. And if you want to get to that point, you really are going to have to change your mindset if you're caught in that loop that I used to be in. So I'm going to introduce a new term here, a term that I've been using more often more recently, which is Private Optimization Platform, or POP. This essentially is any platform that is privately owned or managed that can be used for optimization purposes. So for example, this could be a WordPress website, an HTML website, a Weebly page, a Facebook page, Google My Business listing, or a Yelp listing. And the mindset behind the POP network or POP platform or POP properties is that when you look at PBNs and you look at Web 2.0s and you look at all these different terms and strategies, and you really just look at the foundation of what it is, it's all pretty much the same thing when you look at the foundation it's built on. So it's important to understand that using a POP to rank a website, it's the mindset when optimizing these accounts, because that's really where the power in ranking comes from. It comes from the optimization. We don't call it search engine optimization, for no reason. So, when we're talking about optimizing these properties, we really want to focus on the mindset behind what we're doing and what we're communicating with the properties. So with the pop understanding, I was able to rank on the first page of Google for high competition local keywords with 5 PBN backlinks, $300, and less than 10 days of work. And that's the checklist I'm going to give you. We'll have at the end of the webinar. And not only, sorry, I kind of lost my place here. Okay. The 3 SEO myths.
I like what you're saying there, though. Let me back you up a little bit because I really like what you're saying with the whole pop, right? So, guys, I mean, private optimization platform, right? So that means you're in full control, and I think that Michael showed me some of the like I said, the behind the scenes stuff that he's been doing here, and I don't know if you care to share maybe just a rough estimate, but what is ranking on the first page of Google for some of those high competition? What's the ROI on that? I mean, what have you earned from the $300 investment there?
Oh, I mean, within the first, just the first keywords getting to the first page, I made my money back within, the first month. But I mean, it constantly grows because I'm talking about right now what it took just to get to the first page. I wasn't even, not everything on the first page, but it's the understanding that got me there. But you're talking, in the niche we're going to be talking about, it's a pay-per-lead site. It gets about $44 a lead, and that's because I'm using a distributor. I haven't actually gone out and just started selling the leads to someone else yet, but you could sell them at, $150, $100 a lead, easy, which you'll see once we start going over the vertical.
That's awesome. And you're going to get into that. That's so cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was exactly the point I was going to make on the Pop Network is, yeah, you have to own the property, but what I'm going to be going over is something I actually discovered mid last year, and this is the very first case study that I really put together, and I wanted to see what was actually needed to start showing up on the first page for these type of keywords. And that's why at the end of the webinar, this checklist is actually the breakdown, the timeline, and every single thing that was done to get these rankings. So in order to really understand the POP network or using POP links, you really have to kind of change your mindset on the way some of these things are being talked about in the industry. So these are the 3 biggest SEO myths that I'm going to be going over. The first one is that higher competition means more power is needed to rank. So you need more backlinks, more trust flow, more domain authority. Higher competition means more difficult, and that's not necessarily the case. Myth number 2 is believing that URL metrics have anything to do with ranking a website. Like I said before, metrics just confuse everything. It will make your head spin trying to figure out what's good, what's bad when you're looking at numbers and data like that. So we'll be going over that. And then myth number 3, optimizing your SEO campaign as though backlinks are the most important thing to rank your keywords, which I know backlinks, yes, important signal, but you're really missing the boat if you're thinking backlinks are the one signal that's ranking your website. So first myth, thinking higher competition means more power, more backlinks are needed. Now, the website we're going to be going over, I only used 5 POP backlinks from private domains, and the niche we were targeting is car accident attorney keywords, and it's just personal.
By the way, guys, it's super competitive. I mean, I don't know if Darren is still on here, but Darren and I are both in car accident pay-per-lead verticals, and that no matter, even if you go to like East Bumble F, right? You go way out to the boonies. Those keywords, car accident attorney, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, those are still, $100 per click or more your CPCs. So, I just wanted to throw out how competitive that was, Michael.
Oh yeah, no, it's the whole personal injury in itself, and we actually broke off. We started doing some workman's comp and stuff, but for this specific niche, it is definitely what people would say is high competition. People a lot of the times would be deterred from it or wouldn't want to touch it because they think this must be difficult. But the website that we registered was in August 2015. The graph below is, you could see the initial rankings, which I'll go through the timeline. Everything was done essentially in the first 8 days, and then we didn't touch it. There we go. We did 8 days of optimization, and we actually began building our POP links from our private domains at the very end of October, which you can see our our 8 days of optimization that we initially did, we left that because I wanted to see what impact that had initially. But the second we started using our private domain links, that's when the rankings started going up here, and we reached the first page for our first keyword in January, which is actually, I believe, when the very last link was placed. And that's only 5 links over the course of 3 months.
That's insane.
Okay.
That's incredible. You know, people think, especially for super high competition keywords, and it looks like that's what you're going to talk about here. But you need. It's funny that I'm saying that, but people often think you just need voluminous. You know, you just need huge amounts of PBN or PLP links shooting to your domain. So I guess that's clearly not the case.
Yeah, no, definitely. I used to think it was all about backlinks too, and you know, don't get me wrong, backlinks are a very powerful ranking signal. If you're not building any backlinks, you're definitely going to have some difficult times as well. But the problem is that when you're focusing on something like just backlinks, it's a one-dimensional mindset. It's very tunnel vision. You're missing optimization. You know, I mean, you're literally focusing on one signal out of 200 signals. And I used to focus on things like Brian was saying, number of backlinks, anchor text. You need more links, more power to rank. And I often found myself building a lot of links and building PBN links and not making any progress. I would put up a link and then watch and nothing would happen, put up a link and then watch and nothing would happen. And I was thinking, oh, I'm not choosing the right anchor text, or my PBNs aren't powerful enough, or whatever, the million reasons I thought was the issue. And I didn't really find any success until I really started focusing on the signals my backlinks were sending. So, the content around the links, the title of the article, what type of content it was, what was before and after the links, where it was placed, and more importantly, too, how the property itself and the website itself conveyed relevance for what my links were trying to say, I'm relevant for this keyword or that keyword, but the internal linking of a pop website is very, very important because it's also communicating what the page with your link is relevant for. And these types of signals can only be controlled if you own or manage the platform or property yourself. So that's the main important thing you have to understand about private optimization platform is that you have to own or control it. So using the POP understanding, the basic POP optimization, optimizing the website, social platforms, with interlinking and your keywords in your titles and in your content and stuff like that, building citations, that's your basic POP optimization. But the secret sauce is using niche relevant website properties created from expired domains to build semantic relevance. And the main reason why I recommend using expired domains is because domains have gotten really, really expensive in our industry now, and because everyone's looking at metrics and trying to use that as a judge of how powerful a site is, it's really hard to get a good return on your investment if you're spending hundreds of dollars. But the important part to understand is build semantic relevance. That's really what we're doing with these domains, and that's the foundation of where our mindset has to be. So
hey,
Wikipedia.
Michael, let me ask everybody out there, how many of you guys are building your links from expired domains? From relevant expired domains. Give me a one if you guys are building links on relevant expired domains. I am not seeing enough ones in here, guys. Okay, and if you don't know what semantic relevance, Chris asks, can you quickly, oh, there it is. Hey, you know what? You've been a damn step ahead of me every single question. Fantastic. So, guys, listen, of the hundreds, literally hundreds of people we've got on this webinar, listening and active, I know, because I can see your activity, your interactivity here, we should have a hell of a lot more ones. All right, so we don't have enough ones of people that are actually, owning and creating their own POP domains or PBN domains, either way, from expired domains. So, I think that's a huge factor in getting quick rankings and sustained rankings. I know that for a fact. And Michael, you can explain what semantic search means.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And also finding relevant properties when you're not using expired domains, like I said, is really, really difficult, which is why expired domains is definitely the go-to place for building semantic relevance. And essentially, semantic relevance, Wikipedia defines semantic search as it seeks to improve search accuracy by understanding the searcher's intent and the contextual meaning of terms as they appear in the searchable data space, whether on the web or within a closed system, to generate more relevant results. So what that essentially means is that in semantic search or semantic relevance, we're not just looking at like a link or an actual word, you know, what this word is. It's what are the words around it? What is the sentence actually talking about? What is the purpose of that being there? Why is a backlink there? When you think of, say, just a key term, like if you just type in car accident, you could be looking for a car accident lawyer, you could be looking for news on car accidents, you could be looking for car accident videos. And so semantic search is looking to understand what things actually are and why they're there and how they communicate what the purpose of it is. And that's what we're using to build relevance and rank our websites. Now this means that our POP properties, they must take into account all the signals being utilized by Google, not just the one that most people focus on, which is backlinks and also anchor text as well. It's best to use a scraper and an internal procedure to build an effective network because it's important to understand that all aspects of the POP property must be in your control to be effective. And when you have an actual database or a process of finding a bunch of domains in a space and being able to filter them and search through them and find the ones that you need gives you a lot more power and a lot of the power that you don't have when you're obtaining domains with other methods.
Hey,
So
Michael,
this is,
I
yeah.
gotta tell you this because this is hilarious. Nick just goes, "I'm fist pumping at every bullet point. Keep it coming." So great. That's so great. So how
Awesome.
many of you guys out there are using a scraper? And how many of you guys are using broker to find your domains? Either type scraper in or type broker, or if you're not using either, just give me a 0. Okay, a couple of scrapers, should be more for what I thought it would be. A couple of people using brokers. A couple of people, actually a lot more people just typing in a 0, Michael. So
Wow.
I think you're nailing, you're hitting the nail on the head here. So keep rolling, brother.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and the last point here is, and if you've ever bought PBN links, the main reason why buying PBN links from vendors is ineffective is because they aren't taking into account all these other signals available. That's why there's a difference between, you know, using what a PBN originally was, which the whole benefit was owning the property, and that's why I'm referring to it as a POP property now. But you need to have full control of all the signals within that property. And if you're just buying links from someone, they're just probably getting their content from iWriter or just a service. You know, a lot of the times that I've bought links from people, and it's like, you know, it's like for a plumber in Chicago, and every single post is like how to find a plumber in Chicago, what to ask to find the best plumber in Chicago. It's like literally every single piece of content is the same exact subject line that's linking to my site, and that's not really covering all the areas of semantic relevance and covering all the signals that we could be. So keeping that in mind, we're going to go on to the myth number 2, which is believing URL metrics have anything to do with ranking a website for target keywords. And the first thing I just want to show is my website, michaelmilas.com, that's ranking for all these Chicago keywords. My websites that I'm using links, a lot of them actually aren't hidden, so they're actually showing in majestic here. And this, by most people's standards, would be complete garbage. You know what I mean? If you look at the external backlinks to referring domains, which my domain actually did get hacked at one point, and it got a lot of spam. It didn't affect any of my rankings. I didn't see anything happen. I fixed the website, and I didn't even disavow any links or anything, and it's perfectly fine. And I have a
You know
trust
what?
level.
If I didn't know you, Michael, and I saw this, and I also saw your rankings, which I'm aware of because I'm also in Chicago, and I'm also trying to rank for some of the same keywords. I would have called you out on complete bullshit seeing these seeing these metrics, because I would say there's no way you're ranking. You've got to be doing some black hat. What are you doing there? But guys, listen up. I was ranked at one point #1 for Chicago SEO. You know who stole that from me, right? The man on the other end of this line. So he's doing something right. So guys, pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that I have 11 trust flow in art and people. Definitely not what people would consider a good metric for ranking for the keywords that I'm ranking for. And now let's actually look at the pop website metrics. This is actually all the metrics of all the backlinks I use to rank michaelmilas.com for my private websites. And you can see some of these, I know it's a little small. A lot of low trust flows. Some of these have 5 referring domains in the fresh index or 6 referring domains. Even when I bought them, they had anywhere from like 12. These pictures aren't new. These are actually older pictures. And if you look at the domain authority, we got maybe some page authority, a lot of domain authority below 10, and the topical trust flow on these, very few of them. There's maybe like 5 or 6 that somewhat match what people would think would work for Chicago SEO keywords. So the main point I'm trying to make here is I don't look at metrics, and the reason I don't is because this is what I've done with websites that have poor metrics. And actually, michaelmiles.com was kind of what led me into this first case study for the car accident attorney that I started, and has kind of changed the way I do my SEO today. And if we look at the car accident attorney pop website metrics too, you can see I have maybe 2 domains, the ones at the bottom here that most people would consider by any means maybe okay. 19 topical trust flow of art and music. The one in the lower right or lower left is probably the best one out of them according to metrics. But that was actually, these go in order from left to right and then top to bottom. And you can see the PBN link dates at the bottom here. These are the actual dates that these links were placed. So these 3 were placed first, and it wasn't until the end of December that this one was placed, and then this one actually was placed at the end of January, and I believe we were to the first page before we even placed this link. This just gave us some more traction and got us up there for even more keywords.
And Michael, you were spreading these out by about 15 days or so in between each, sometimes more, sometimes less. Were you doing that on purpose? Is that a ranking strategy, or were you doing that just to really determine was it an SEO experiment?
Yeah, exactly. This was a case study, so I was really trying to gauge what was happening when I was placing these links, and based on the way I placed the links, which I'll go over in a little bit, I was looking at what was getting me the most results versus just placing like an anchor text link as well.
Okay,
So
yeah, that clears it up. I just didn't know if that was a strategy to really space them out this much or what have you. But okay, that makes a lot of sense. It was totally a case study. Got it. Thanks.
yeah, I mean, I've dropped links 2 a week, sometimes just one every other week. I've had sites that I ranked. One of them, I literally put up like 20 PBN links, just 20 days in a row, and just had it ranking like all over the country for lead generation keywords.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
the putting up links quickly isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, it all is coming down to this understanding of why those links are going up quickly. If you can communicate those signals properly, you can have 20 links built in a month, or 30 links, or 50 links built in a month. It's not like the stuff doesn't happen on the web, So with these metrics, this is why focusing on metrics really messed with my SEO. First of all, since everyone's scraping domains now, or apparently not, I thought there was more, but in the domain industry, people are just grabbing domains based on, what the industry standard is for selling a domain. They want to give the metrics or be able to just put up a spreadsheet of a bunch of domain metrics with numbers and say, send me your number and take your domain, or they'll send you 10 of them and you go through them, and if they're spammed, you could send them back. But they're not selling them based on what you actually need, what you're trying to rank for. It's all just based on an understanding of what people will buy. So when I would buy scrape domains from vendors, they would sell me sites based on metrics, and there was no semantic relevance or no understanding or really tactic there when it came to ranking my websites or building the semantic relevance, which was the most important thing, which is why when I'm building private networks now to build semantic relevance, I've only used a scraper since the beginning of this year. instead of using vendors. Having semantically relevant domains is more important than high metrics for the same reason people find it easier to rank PMDs and EMD websites. And that's just one example, but when you really think about it, you know, having a keyword in a domain, it helps it rank. And it's the same thing with having, say, a keyword in a private network site domain, or having those keywords in properties that are linking to your site or talking about those keywords. So understanding that semantically relevant can beat authority many, many times, especially in local markets. Definitely in local markets.
I couldn't agree more with you, Michael. Let me ask you a question there. On average, when you were paying for your domains with a broker, what were you spending on those domains? Because I know how much focus has been put, or I should say placed, on metrics in the industry. And everyone's a metrics, you know, hound. They're always looking, oh, well, you know, here's my trust flow, here's, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Here's my citation flow. And it seems to almost have artificially inflated the domain broker market.
Mm-hmm.
So what were you spending on average for your, you know, let's say a medium quality, you know, quote unquote quality in terms of metrics domain?
I mean, anywhere from, I would say at least $100. If it's a quality, you know what I mean. You could find just complete garbage for $5, $10 all day. But for what I was at the time looking at, like, oh yeah, this would be good for my website. Yeah, it was a minimum of $100. I've paid $150 to $200, all the way up to $400 from some vendors I've worked with as well. And of course, those, you know, they had huge metrics, tons of backlinks. And really, that's just, it's like overkill, especially for local markets. You know, you don't see a lot of local websites with crazy stuff like that, you know.
You know, and it's even gone so far. So guys, I mean, hey, everyone listening, what's the most you've ever paid for a domain? If you ever bought from a broker, throw it in there. I want to see that. That'll be really interesting to see. But I know back when I was buying domains, my average was about $250 a good domain. You know, and these had some decent metrics, but I was so focused on the metrics and not the relevancy. And I was wondering why I wasn't getting the rankings. I mean, I was spending sometimes for one, you know, whether it was for a client or one of my pay-per-lead sites, you know, for one domain, I'm spending upwards of $3,000, $5,000 in efforts to get it to rank, you know, and I'm seeing maybe one long tail key term ranking, you know, nationally. In more local markets, I saw a few more, but just certainly not what I expected from, you know, paying so much for these domains and you know, purportedly buying from reputable domain brokers. So we've got people saying $178, $1,125, Elijah, geez, $200, $100, $500, $775. I mean, this just goes on and on. That's insane, guys. I mean, if you're spending that much, these domains better be made out of gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. Holy cow.
Just wild, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's nuts.
Cool. Okay, man. Keep on rolling. I just wanted to ask that question. Go for it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so what do I look for in a domain? Because this is definitely important. URL relevance. Whenever I'm going through domains, the one thing I love to see is something that's related to my keywords or related to my niche actually within the URL. Almost buying like a you know, a property that has an exact match domain or something like that. The other thing I look at is the backlinks and text relevance, the anchor text relevance. So if the website is in my vertical or in my niche, if it has links that, you know, say thing like lawyer or law or you know, mostly, I'm not talking about like spam domains, but like it looks like a brand and it has, you know, like their brand sometimes on listing sites and stuff, it'll say attorneys or whatever. Referring domain, page relevance, and the archive. Essentially here, same thing as I'm just looking for relevance. I'm looking for the relevance of the overall domains that are linking to the website. I'm looking at the relevance of the pages that actually have the backlinks that are referring to the website, and I'm also looking at the archive to see what the website used to be. Because even if the website doesn't have, you know, the most relevant backlinks, they might be in places with links that are going to other relevant sources, but it may not be an entire website about your niche. If the archive is very niche relevant, I'll often grab a domain for that. and live backlinks. You don't need a ton of backlinks, but if you find a domain that has absolutely 0 live backlinks, I would pass on it. That's the only, really the only thing that I pay most attention to when it comes to live backlinks. I just don't want 0. I've bought them with 5, I bought them with 10, I've bought them, with 7. I actually have one website that just had 3 backlinks. And I was able to build huge semantic relevance just on site with what the site used to be and adding new content and stuff. So the domain must not meet all the criteria above for me to buy it. So like I was saying, if one thing's good or the other things match, I don't need a relevant URL with relevant anchor text, with relevant links from domains, with a relevant archive, with live backlinks. I don't need, every single one of those to qualify a domain. So for example, I'll buy a domain if my keywords or keyword variation are in the URL, have any amount of backlinks. So if there's not 0 backlinks and it has something relevant in the URL, the URL has keyword relevant anchor text to my keywords. Like I was saying before, generally I won't buy like an exact match domain that is my keyword. I haven't really come across that too much, but like I said, I'm not talking about those kind of exact match spam domains that you sometimes see. The referring domains carry any kind of niche relevance. So if it's getting links from websites that are extremely relevant to my vertical, even if the pages that are actually linking to the site aren't strong, don't have any metrics, they aren't even really much relevance on that specific page, but if the domain as a whole has a lot of relevance, I'll grab it for that reason. And then if the website's archive carries any kind of niche relevance and there's some backlinks, that's a great opportunity to just snatch up that relevance and go ahead and optimize it for your links and everything else. So the last myth that I'm going to be talking about is optimizing your SEO campaign as though backlinks are the most important thing to rank for your keywords. And this is kind of a very, very big one, because this is where the whole mindset shift really has to change. So what we're going to look at is what makes a good website. Google's analyzing over 200 plus signals. I think last time I heard it was about 200. Now they got RankBrain and all this. They're updating constantly. They're using new signals now, like schema markup is getting big, and it's only going to pick up more and more. They're not going to start cutting back on their algorithm. I could pretty much guarantee that. So the main focus of semantic search is understanding what things actually mean on the internet when looking at these signals. So if you're only focusing on optimizing your backlinks and anchor text on your POP network, then how many other signals is Google looking at that you aren't communicating anything with? I mean, this is what I really want you to ask yourself, is how many of those signals are you taking advantage of currently on your properties? If you look at any websites or anything that you're linking to your site or private websites, how many of those signals, schema markup, videos, embeds, all the signals available, how many are you actually utilizing? And this is the basis for how I rank with such few links from my websites. It's an understanding that it's about encompassing all the signals that I have to optimize instead of just 1 or 2. So this kind of encompasses, ties together myth 1 and myth 2, saying it's not all about backlinks. And as I said before, I didn't find success until I really started to consider what signals my backlinks were sending, such as the text around the backlinks and where the backlinks were placed and what the articles were about and things of that nature, interlinking and stuff. So the most important thing that I keep saying over and over is you have to recognize is relevance. You have to always be thinking in terms of relevance, because you have to think about this. If a website is extremely authoritative but isn't relevant at all for keywords, will it rank? It won't. You won't have, if Wikipedia, a huge authoritative site, if they don't have content or anything targeted for keywords, Google's going to show more relevant results above them. They're not going to just show the home page because they don't have anything else relevant to those keywords. But I mean, obviously Wikipedia is huge. They have a ton of content. But I think you get the idea that Google's not going to just show a site because it has authority. It has to be relevant, and relevance can beat the authority, which is actually my next point is that relevance can beat authority, and this is especially in geo-relevance with local markets, anything that's local, because when Google switched up their algorithm and started splitting up local search, it pretty much took all the competition and split it up into areas, and now it's a relevance game is really what it is. It's not a matter of authority because Google's looking at where things are actually located and why people are actually looking for them. So if you can show Google that you're more relevant, your business is more relevant for your services in your location than the other businesses, then it's really easy to rank. So how taking my focus off links and ignoring metrics and working on relevance really changed my SEO? Yeah.
I just wanted to point one thing out here. We're getting a lot of comments on this too. It really looks like it's a weight off of a lot of people's shoulders. And I know when I first started talking to you about this and applying it to my own campaigns and seeing results, it really felt like a huge weight off of my shoulders because my criteria for for PBN or POP domains so high. I wanted trust flow above 30. I wanted citation flow within 2 points of that. I was going crazy looking for these domains. I was paying too much to domain brokers, and scrapers, are definitely a huge advantage in that. But to me, and how many of you guys agree with me here, knowing that relevancy is more important than metrics, how is that going to change your game? If you guys agree with me on that, if it feels like a weight off of your shoulders in your SEO world, give me a 1, give me a 2, give me a keyboard head smash, because I know as soon as I learned that, the entire SEO game just simplified. It just got easier. And my rankings went up. Things just felt better overall. And going back to what you said in the beginning, Michael, you used to think SEO was technical and hard. And when you're going with, all the other sheeple out there that are following what every other guru says, which is, hey, you've got to find this metric at least, and it's got to be built this way, and X, Y, Z, things do seem technical and hard. But, with this method and knowing that it's effective and seeing it, guys, I've seen it in my own campaigns, it is a huge, huge weight off your shoulders. Focus on relevancy. And by the way, we got a ton of keyboard head smashes in there. So thank you all very much. I believe the winner on that one was Wes. Good job. That looks like a quality keyboard head smash, sir. Please remain conscious. Keep going, Michael.
Awesome. Okay, so really what changed, first of all, I stopped buying cheap domains because the quality metric domains were killing my bank account, and I was trying to get cheaper domains, and the networks were horrible. I wasn't ranking, so I stopped messing around with that. I stopped focusing on power and started focusing on finding domains that really made sense for what I was trying to do and what I can utilize them for. I spent a lot less time analyzing domains for my scraper too, because I no longer was trying to get what everyone else was thinking was good domains. I was actually strategically looking for what was best for me and what would work for my campaign. So just the whole mindset shift allowed me to kind of look at what everyone else was passing up to rank for their keywords. I focused more on signals on my pop websites, which made them more powerful, and it actually reduced de-indexing. When you have all these different signals that Google's looking at, and you're actually communicating things within your private network sites, it definitely increases the trust for your site. Just from a search engine standpoint, if you have that people have talked about it before, generic network sites that just have a bunch of different niches don't work that well. But when you actually have a targeted website with interlinking that's communicating relevance, you could actually get rank keywords for these sites that will get traffic and actually send traffic to your site. It's really the optimization that you have to think about with this overall picture, and like I said, it really helps with de-indexing. And most importantly, I was able to build an asset that I can rank more than one website at a time, the private optimization platform, because it really is not just having essentially websites available, but especially with the mindset of being able to build these pop networks at any time, the asset of being able to just grab the domains I need, put them up, build the semantic relevance, and rank a site was extremely valuable, and it's something I really didn't have before. I didn't really have a solid system that I knew I could find these kinds of domains, optimize things this way, and achieve results.
Michael, you're throwing out so many good points here. Go back to that last slide for a second. You're throwing out so many good points. We're getting people just flooding the inbox here. You know, and one of the things that a lot of you guys have just chimed in about is de-indexing. And I know, I mean, it is like one of the worst words. It's like the mother of all bad words in SEO, de-indexing, oh, you know. And I think we're all a little bit nervous of that, rightfully so, you know, perhaps. But you're saying here that when you're building POP websites, when you're building that relevancy within your POP, right, or otherwise known as PBN, right, then you are reducing the likelihood of de-indexing. That's amazing. Why don't you just kind of expound on that a little bit?
Well, I mean, Google's looking for quality. I mean, that's the whole concept that they're based around, is returning quality results. Having a website that is actually built as, you know, essentially a quality website. But when you think about what a quality website is, and that's what I was saying before, it's what incorporates, it's those signals. That's what Google's looking at to determine the quality of a website. If you have a website that's howtoreroofyourhome.com, and it's 10 pages of content, each one going through steps with videos, with downloadable files, all about the 10 steps you need to re-roof your house, and they all, you know, interlink and reference as a solid resource, Google's going to look at that and see it as a quality website. You know, it's actual providing value to the internet. And when you just have like a private domain or something, and you're just throwing up posts or just throwing up links, and you're not taking into account the interlinking and the signals that you're communicating, that this website itself is a resource. It's not just a link farm. The content on your private site is actually a resource, and it's communicating that through the interlinking, through the optimization. I mean, if you set up a Facebook and a Twitter and you optimize those properties, and those are linking to your private network site, making sure that that relevance carries through any signal that you can send is really what is building that trust, and why I think I really haven't seen much de-indexing for, well, actually, I don't think I've really seen any de-indexing this year, to be honest with you.
That's fantastic, and guys, that just makes a lot of sense to me. You know, of course, you want to build up your sites to be very relevant and very authoritative. I always say it like this: my PBN sites or my POP sites, I always consider them baby money sites. Right? So I treat them that way. I give them a lot. I nurture them. I give them a lot of attention, and I let them grow. And guys, if you are building your POP or your PBN, if you're doing it the right way, okay, then you'll find that your sites grow and they become their own authority sites, and they start getting their own rankings too. And then you can actually turn those sites into your PBN sites or your POP sites. They can actually evolve into money sites, which is amazing. I've had that happen on a number of occasions. Just because, you know, you go back and you check the rankings one day and you go, holy shit, I'm ranking for that? How did that happen? This should be a money site. And you go, oh my God, I've got this much traffic. Why am I not monetizing this? So if you guys, and that's just kind of a 30,000 foot view principle. But if you look at your sites as baby money sites and you give them the attention that they need to grow, they will. They absolutely will. And I love the fact that you touched on this here, Michael. The more relevant they are, the more relevancy within your sites, within your POP or your PBN, the less of a chance there is for de-indexing, because so many of us are nervous about that. So, dude, thank you for touching on that. I just wanted everyone to be sure to hear that, because there's no need to be as spooked out by this whole de-indexing term as everybody is.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I remember the first time I realized that, you know, I was sitting there and I was like, I spent all this time and all this energy, and I do keyword research, and I optimize my website and the titles and the interlinking, and then I buy a private domain, put it up, and just slap up some content and throw some links on it. Like, the concept, like, when I actually sat down and thought about it, I was like, why would I think that that would be the best way to do it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't rank for my keywords by just throwing stuff up and throwing up links. I spend all this time on my site. Why am I not doing it with my off page? And that's really the foundation of the private optimization platform. So just a really quick recap, some main points that I just wanted to reiterate is that high competition does not mean more power is needed. It doesn't mean that more backlinks. Higher competition can be beat by relevance. The second one is that metrics definitely are not a way to judge quality or trust. They are very misleading, and They sometimes correlate, but they sometimes don't. A website that is high quality can have bad metrics, and a website with bad metrics or good metrics can be very low quality. So when we're using those to analyze, it's kind of like using a baseline that doesn't really say anything. And then the last one is, backlinks are a strong signal, but alone you are missing out on the other 200 signals, and all the new stuff that Google's constantly doing to enhance their algorithm. So it's really, you got to start thinking about all the signals that are being taken into account. So how do we rank with such little effort? Obviously, we've talked about the POP network. Hyper-relevant off-page optimization, which is the main thing. So first of all, writing content optimized for search. One tool I've been using a lot recently is answerthepublic.com. You can go over there and throw in a keyword. So for example, for like my website, Chicago SEO, if you throw in SEO, you'll get results. Which is better, SEO or SMO? SEO and redesigning a website. These are things that people are searching for online, and these are questions that they're asking. So when I publish this content, and I'm also doing interlinking on my site, so I'll use interlinks like this, SEO versus SMO, and you'll notice that these three interlinks here, they're all incorporating SEO. So I'm building that relevance on my website, private website, that this is relevant for SEO. It's not relevant for Chicago SEO, but it's an SEO resource. And optimizing backlinks for semantic search. And this is an important part. When I finally do place a link, I'm not just looking at throwing a link on a page or buying an iWriter article and squeezing my anchor text in there. I would put something like this that says, are you looking for SEO? It takes an expert search engine optimization consultant to achieve, which I spelled wrong, real results in the Chicagoland area. If you would like to learn more about your website's current SEO status, contact MILS Marketing Inc. in Chicago for a no-cost search engine optimization consultation. And then I put my phone number, I'd put a maps embed, schema markup for my business, and then where it says MILS Marketing Inc. in Chicago, that would be my anchor text that I'm linking to my website. And then I would do more interlinking on my website as well to build the relevance for that specific post, whatever I was talking about in that content. Geotagging images too. So on that same post where I'm referencing my company, maybe I'll put a geotagged logo for my company, or just geotagged other images that somehow relates to the content that I'm publishing. Linking out to hyper-relevant websites or web pages, and this is something, do not focus on authority. I know last year, 2 years ago, a lot of people, it seemed like every single PBN I saw had like Wikipedia links all the time, and you don't want to link to authoritative websites. You want to link to highly relevant websites that are essentially answering or communicating whatever it is you're linking. So think of it as if you were actually reading your article on your website. If you're highlighting a word and that person's going to click that to go find out more about that word, we want to send them to not only a resource that it directly tells them what that word's about, but also where that website is going to encompass everything within our niche. So you want to focus more on relevance than just sending, an authority link. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a domain authority 98 for you to link out from your PBN and call it a good link. Embedding Twitter or Facebook posts in blog posts is the same thing as YouTube videos. I embed YouTube videos from my YouTube channel. I'll embed Twitter and Facebook posts. Really, when it comes down to anything, maps embeds, really, if you can embed it, you can utilize it on your networks in one way or another, for the most part, especially on any high authoritative social network sites and things. Really start looking into how you can build that semantic relevance utilizing those embeds, because that's a common thing too. You see a lot of time on blogs where they talk about something that happened and then maybe show like a Twitter embed, and then they talk about like whatever went down about the Twitter post, and then there's a YouTube video about the actual whatever they're reporting on. So this is the way the web works, and it actually is building relevance for what all this stuff is that all ties together. So it's really important to utilize these things on our private sites, and it's also important to understand that it's not a one and done plan. Don't build one website and then just put up a link and then just watch the search engines. If you're analyzing and you're testing and stuff, yes, but when you're looking to build relevancy and semantic search, you want to make it an ongoing plan. It's not just buy one domain, put it up, and watch the rankings, because you're literally covering a big picture view, an overhead view of everything. So it's not just one link, it's not just two links. Sometimes you'll put up a link, get great results, sometimes you won't, but it's the understanding that you're building this relevance not just on your private sites, but on Facebook, your other profiles on your websites, and it's an ongoing strategy. But when you take into account the optimization that you do have available, you'll find out that even though it's an ongoing plan, you're going to get much more results a lot easier, and it's going to just become more of a matter of switching your strategy to target more keywords. So the optimization checklist, this is exactly what we did for this one case study. Like I said, we purchased the domain on the 6th, and it was an EMD website, exact match domain. We built 5 pages of content. That's all we put on there. The next day, we set up a branded syndication network, which has, I think, 8 properties in it, just Facebook, Twitter, Dig, the 8 properties. We used IFTTT to set up the syndication. And I went to Google Maps, and I just clicked on the suggest and edit button while signed into the new Google account I created, and I added my business to Google Maps. That's actually something I do a little bit off topic of the PBN thing. If I'm just putting up like a lead gen website and I'm not looking to go through the steps of securing a verified Google My Business listing, I'll often just go to Google Maps and suggest an edit, and they'll just place it on the maps, which has really helped me with local optimization, so possibly keep that one in mind. The next day after that, built 80 citations from Fiverr, so it was really cheap. We really just wanted to get some type of geo-relevance with the citations. We started blog posting daily. It was just 10 posts. We dripped them out like once a day, once every other day. And we sent some social signals to the homepage and to the blog posts. And that was pretty much it for that day. On the 9th, we posted a press release to the blog and ran a press release. On the 12th, we added the workman's comp page, which I told you we started targeting some more keywords. And we did 10 high PR niche relevant blog comments, which really was just trying to find some relevant websites that I can get like a brandable link on. The 13th, we did some GSA linking to the Web 2.0s and social media, just branded with location, nothing major. And now on the 26th, this is when we started the PBN link. So we did all this initial stuff first and let it sit, and we wanted to see kind of what happened. Obviously, like I said, I used Fiverr, I used some cheap services. I really wasn't expecting too much from the work that we did. It definitely wasn't the most high quality, but I kind of was just laying a basic foundation, because what I really wanted to test was what was going to happen when I started placing these links. So on 10/26, we posted the first link, and it was just an exact match anchor text link, and that gave us a little bit of boost, mostly for our main keyword. But the second one, and this is the one that really skyrocketed the rankings, we posted the second one. It was exact match anchor text keyword, which it was an EMD site, keep in mind, so it's branded as well, but we also included a Twitter embed, a Maps embed, schema markup for our business, all within that post. And that was from our Twitter account. That was the Google Maps listing and the schema that we used, and that gave us the biggest jump. That was kind of the aha moment when I realized that there was way much more to take into consideration here than just building an exact match anchor text link. And so I tested it once again, and the link we put up on the 14th, we just did an exact match link again, and I didn't really see much. It looked like there was some upward movement kind of slowly, which I don't know if anyone's experienced that, where you're placing links and you don't really see huge jumps like I used to about a year or two ago, and it just kind of moves up, slowly over the months. But then on the 23rd, we did another link, which was just a long tail, and that was an actual attorney website that we used the old website that was on there, and that got us some good results. And then our last one, which kind of carried out through the rest of this, included a YouTube video, schema markup, maps embed, as well as interlinking. So the one thing too, all these websites were all law related. So they all had content about law, they had content about attorneys, there wasn't any general sites, and they all incorporated interlinking from other pages or internal pages or posts. that we had previously published. And so this is really what ranked the site. These 5 links and the way they were structured. And if you remember from before, that the metrics on these aren't, they're really not good at all. So that's pretty much the system that we went through to get the results for this site. Now the main takeaways that I really want everyone to understand is, first of all, PBN metrics mean nothing, again, and they shouldn't be used to judge the power or health of a website. Good websites can have poor metrics. PBN vendors are not effective or efficient, especially when you're dealing with auction domains or even buying scraped domains. They get super expensive if you're buying what anyone is considering quality in our industry, and you lose all advantages of having the ability to select and search for the domains that you're looking for. And then the last thing, PBNs are not just about backlinks. The main advantage of having those private sites is that you own it, you can optimize it with all the signals available. You could have keyword targeted titles optimized for search, content, interlinking. This is why it's so vital, though, that you own and manage these properties yourself, and you can't just go and pay someone for links or do it, outsource the thing. If you really want to do this effectively, you have to control these properties and control what type of optimization is being done with them. All right, so now I wanted to jump away from this and actually go over.
Before you do, guys, yeah. Can we I want to talk with the audience real quick. First of all,
let's do it.
The number has just gone up. The number of people on this webinar has gone up exponentially. And normally I'll see some attrition. Guys, we have almost no attrition on this webinar. Thank you, everybody, for hanging around. How awesome were those last 2 slides? I mean, Michael literally chronicled and just showed you exactly what he did. I mean, there's no fog in understanding what happened there. It's total transparency, man. I totally appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you guys agree with me, throw a 1 in that chat box. Saying great stuff, amazing. We're getting advanced keyboard head smashes even when I'm not asking for them. So this webinar has been a game changer. Matthew, that's awesome to hear that, brother. Albert's is great stuff. Nice. Okay, good. All right, guys. Cool. Keep rocking, Michael. Just wanted to point out how awesome that was of you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad people are liking it. So yeah, as far as getting the domains, I've been using Domain Reanimator, and I'm going to go through why, especially when I'm talking about semantic search, the type of stuff that I've been able to do with this. So first of all, this is just what it looks like when you sign in here. If you go to create a project, there's a few different scraping methods they have available here. They have keyword crawl, where you literally just throw in your keywords and you name your crawl. You could select your country, and it'll just go out based on your keywords, find relevant websites. The seed list crawl, which you can upload to 500 URLs. This is how you're finding all of your expired domains.
Just to validate that, this is how you're finding 100% of your expired domains.
Yeah. There was 1 or 2 times this year I think I did buy one from a vendor, and I was like, never again. It makes no sense, really,
Right.
So yeah, I'll show you why too. Not only do I use it, but it's so important on what you could really do with this, especially once we start getting into the geo-targeted crawl and the seed list crawl, because I think in the Domain Reanimator Facebook group I did a little video about how I was finding geo-relevant domains with the seed list crawl. But even with the geo-targeted crawl, you can just come down here and select your country and put in your city and start a project, and it'll just go out and find relevant domains in that location. We have a single site crawl here too. I guess this is in beta, which is just crawls 1 domain, which is nice if you just wanted to crawl like an authority or site or something like that. But more importantly, the crawl functions, they're pretty self-explanatory. They're very simple to use. But the most important part is now, once we got a project running, which right here we have 1 active geo-targeted project running for LA, and then we have our paused project, archive projects. But when we go over to my expired domains, this is where I could just pull domains anytime I want for anything I want, and it's actually really simple. And I've talked to a few people too and they don't really understand the power of using these filters up here, how to use them. So I just want to talk about that real quick and go through a few steps there. So first of all, we have positive keywords, negative keywords, so you can filter it by what keywords are in the URL or what keywords aren't in the URL. You could search between the date range that it was found. You could hide the spam domains. I don't even really check this, to be honest with you. There's some spam, but some things that are considered spam by software, like I said, it's metrics, it's data, and I like to look at things and understand them, so I won't even check that sometimes. Up here, you could choose if you just use .com, .net, or .org. You could select a trust flow metric if you want. I don't use that too much. And then we also have the advanced filters here, which I honestly don't use this too much either. Sometimes I'll set the fresh referring domains to like 10 or something like that, just to find something that has a couple of backlinks or make sure it has some backlinks, because like I said, I don't want no backlinks at all. But first of all, the one thing I like to do a lot is if I'm looking for domains, first of all, so I'll come over here and I'll search for like a keyword. So for example, if we're doing the personal injury attorney thing, car accident, I'll search for law and apply that filter. And right here, it's going to give us just a bunch of domains that have the word law in it. So here's, see, Quick Lawyer, and you can see the metrics over here. I don't really look at the metrics too much, to be honest with you. If it doesn't have any backlinks or anything, I don't really look at it. But what I'm really focusing on mostly is the domain name. Find New York Law Schools, criminal law definition. So for instance, this one right here, if I just click on this domain, it'll open up and we could start analyzing it. Obviously not a lot of great trust flow, citation flow, criminal law definition. It's definitely got a lot of anchor text that I'm liking. Down here we can see the snapshots, and we can click on one of these and go look at what the site used to be. And just at a glance, we could see it's got some good archives. Real quick, we could jump over to Majestic, and usually I come over here and like to take a look at kind of what backlinks we're working with. Generally, I'll look first at the referring domains and see just roughly what kind of domains are there. So, I mean, real quick, just at a glance of this, you can see that it doesn't have all horrible domains. We have some nicer referring domains in here. Even the backlinks too. If it just has a few backlinks, I'll go through and look at a few of these and see what kind of where these backlinks are coming from. But in general, like I said, I don't pay too much attention to the trust flow or citation flow stuff. It's really not too relevant for me. But more importantly, if I go back to expired domains, and this is why I like the geo crawl. So if I choose my project here, and let me just pull up LA, the last one that's crawling, and then I put in law, and just apply the filter here. Okay, so a lot of the times, especially with the geo crawl, so it's pulling back, geo-relevant results based that only have the word law in it, essentially. So let me see if I can find one here really fast. Essentially, you can do this now, and you can often find, old websites that are actually Philadelphia Personal Injury Lawyer Guide. Here's some law firm. Let's try. Oh, that's the law definition. Did that go? Try this again. There. Let's just choose one.
I love that you're doing it live, by the way, Michael. It's so cool. I think a lot of people won't go through and show the process live. They'll talk about it, but they won't actually go through the process. So very, very cool to see you do this.
Yeah, no, I mean, and honestly, this isn't rocket science, really. You're looking for something that's like, this is LAI Law Office. Not really sure, but yeah, I mean, you're looking at the domain names. Usually, I could find one here that's got a it's like a local business, but of course I didn't see. I haven't done too much in law recently. I think I was looking at roofing actually earlier. Quick Lawyer Law Office. Let's Let's just check out this one here real quick. Some referring domains. All right, so here we go.
I'm going to say that one looks pretty good so far.
Yeah, I mean, just at a glance here, I mean, if we look at the archive, so this is a attorney in California.
So for those of you guys that don't know, what we're doing here is we're looking at the historical documentation of what this website used to look like.
Yes, yeah, exactly. This is archive.org, and it shows what used to be on the website. So it looks like there's actually, here's an archive in Los Angeles. So I mean, if we're trying to rank for Los Angeles law keywords, this would be a perfect example of a type of domain I would use, especially because it has, like, it used to actually be in Los Angeles, you know what I mean? And if it has some relevance and we can get it indexed, even throw a WordPress blog on the back end and do some interlinking.
And I'm sure that domain is gone already from somebody on this webinar. Somebody's going to have to pick it up right now.
Well, and right here you could just click and actually take you right here to register it, which is really nice. Let's see if it's still available. Yep, still available. So someone could jump on it real quick. Check the who is information, check snapshots. The absolute best part, though, is this right here. The Wayback Snapshot download. This right here allows you to download the HTML from the archive snapshot here. So we can then just register the domain and literally throw up this website. And this is the one website I was talking about before on the slide. It was just a reanimated website like this, and we put in, you know, some content about our law keywords. We work with a partner, blah, 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 whatever that is, and then link to your website, put in your schema kind of thing. Make sure you're utilizing all those signals. But it's really that simple to just come over here and click this button, and then it's just going to email me. Oh, I got to click right here. So this is the rebuild screen. If I click this button, rebuild, it'll email me the snapshot that I can then just upload to my server and have the website live. The nice thing about this too, though, is if you do have any other domains, which I know they didn't have this feature for forever, but you can go ahead and throw any domain name in here and rebuild a snapshot. So if it's, you know, you got an expired domain or something else you wanted to rebuild, this will rebuild almost, you know, any previous domain that has an archive like this.
So guys, think about this. When you rebuild a domain, and Michael, maybe you can speak to this, but that's really the power of Domain Reanimator. That's why it's called Reanimator. You know, honestly, it is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful scraper on the internet right now. But, you know, you can reanimate anything. It's one click, and the Domain Reanimator, or DRA as we call it for short, will literally rebuild the domain to the exact specs of what it used to look like. Now, what's the advantage of rebuilding it to the exact specs of what it used to look like, Michael? How does that appear to Google? Why is that an advantage?
Well, you're maintaining the URL structure, which if, you know, the site has backlinks, obviously, now those backlinks are actually going to their corresponding pages, which is very important when you're thinking about things like semantic search. When links are coming to a site, why they're referencing the site, why they're going there. When you remove all those pages or redirect all those pages to a 404, the home page, it definitely loses a lot of its power and a lot of its trust as well. So reanimating that not only gives you the benefits of the URL structure, but you also get the content. And when we're talking about finding niche relevant domains like the one we just found, it was previously a law site, there's already pre-built semantic relevance with the backlinks and the site itself. So we can kind of skip kind of that middle process of having to even build out the semantic relevance because it's already there. We just have to restore it. We can add some more optimization, which I recommend because it'll give you that extra boost. But you know what I mean? It's all right there, all ready to go. And especially when you're looking for the domains that are going to be right for your campaign, you're going to find a lot of them. I know a lot of people that have told me they have really hard problems finding domains, but when they kind of change that mindset and know what they're looking for, you can find a ton of them. You know,
absolutely, guys. And listen, so we had a bunch of questions about, you know, is it okay to reanimate? Guys, it is better. It is much, much better to go through and rebuild from the archive.org, which is what Domain Reanimator does with one click. It's much, much better. You build a heck of a lot more authority. And by the way, how many of you out there have bought an expensive expired domain from a domain from broker and then spent the money to have, or did it yourself, you know, put in the elbow grease to rebuild a website on that expired domain. How long does that take you? How much money did you invest to do that? How much time did you invest to do that? I mean, that's why Domain Reanimator is a very serious advantage here. It's because it's going to do it for you, and it's going to take all the guesswork out. And you guys think that Michael had this pre-planned? He did not. That was a live demonstration, and Michael, I mean, you found a kick-ass domain like that. So
Yeah.
If you guys think that was set up, I can vouch for Michael. That was not set up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was playing around before the webinar. Like I said, though, I think I was looking at house or home or something like that. But yeah, I figured I'd stick with law for the webinar since that's what we were talking about.
Awesome, awesome. So cool, so cool. So how many of you guys out there right now are using Domain Reanimator? And Michael, do you have any more slides to go through? Or you just want to keep going through
that's
this
pretty much it. No, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to really show, the Domain Reanimator. More importantly, the thought process behind, how I'm scraping, what I'm looking for. Because when you come down here and you start, doing trust flow this and domain authority that, and you're literally picking through a sea of domains that most of them aren't even going to be good for your site semantically, even if they did have power. But you're also going after a bunch of stuff that everyone else is thinking is the killer domains. And I mean, really, how many people do you hear nowadays saying that PBNs aren't working the way they used to, or their PBN links aren't working the way they used to? And that's because, yeah, exactly. And that's just because of the way the landscape is now, because everyone's looking at metrics and they're not really looking at the important things.
And I think that relevancy is just such an important topic here. And overall, guys, I mean, that's your big takeaway here, right? Your big takeaway is make sure that you're looking at relevancy. And when you're in Domain Reanimator, and if you're not in Domain Reanimator, you need to be. But when you're in there, check the relevancy. It's all at one click. You don't have to bounce around into Moz, Majestic, and wherever the hrefs, wherever you want to go. It's all right there at a click. And guys, this thing is super, super powerful. And Michael, why don't I do this, my brother? I'm going to go ahead and take the presenter role back from you. And let's see, how do I do that? I'm going to make myself the presenter. Okay, show my screen. Awesome. Okay, guys. How many of you guys can see my screen? You should see my Facebook up there. Give me one if you can see my screen. I want to do something really cool for you guys. So let me know if you guys can see my screen. Yeah? Also, can we get a big hell yeah thank you, Michael? Because you just dropped some knowledge bombs like crazy. That was value coming out the ass. So good of you, dude. Lots of thank yous on this. Awesome, buddy. Thank you. Hell yeah, Mikey. Rock on. You're the best, man. Okay, cool. So check this out, guys. I'm going to come back to my slides real quick. All right, I want to do something kind of cool for you. All right, I want to do something kind of special. Here's why. Because you guys are on our lists. You guys are what we consider the VIPs, right? Because we didn't do any paid promotion for this webinar. Michael and I hit our lists a few times. We did some social posts, and we literally got hundreds of people on this webinar, which shows me that you guys are desperate for this information, which is awesome. So we're going to do something kind of cool for you. All right, the one tool that Michael's really talking about is Domain Reanimator. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but I am a part of Domain Reanimator, of course, right? So we want to do something special for you. I can do this here for the first 25 of you on this webinar. Okay, for the first 25 to jump into Domain Reanimator right now. Okay, we're going to give you 50% off. That's the biggest discount we've ever done with Domain Reanimator, period. You can get 50% off, okay? All right, all you have to do is go to Domain Reanimator, use DRA July 50, and we'll give you 50% off. But again, guys, that's for the first 25 people only, okay? So 50% off. And I'm not going to give you a hard pitch here on it, guys. I think that, either that it's either it's a kick-ass piece of software that you need in your SEO campaigns, or you don't. I could go through all the reasons. You've got two options. You could move forward, keep doing the same thing you're doing, keep struggling with your SEO campaigns, keep paying domain brokers ridiculous amounts, keep rebuilding WordPress sites on old PBNs, which takes forever, pain in the ass, not as effective as reanimating from the archive. Or you can jump into Domain Reanimator for 50% off. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Wouldn't you agree with me, Michael? It's like,
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't know you were giving anyone 50% off. That's crazy, man.
yeah, dude. I mean, we want to make it. We want to make it good here. We want to get people back to reality, which is, SEO is not that damn hard. It's not as complicated as you think it is. And all of our rankings verify everything that Michael and I have been talking about, that Michael's taught me. Michael is really the guy that drilled into my head that relevancy is the #1 metric right now. And it makes a lot of sense because Google is always, or has been for the past, at least, a major push in the past 3 years, since good old Penguin 2.1 back in October. What was that, like October 4th? Of 2013. Since then, they've really made a huge push for naturalism. They wanted to find natural link building patterns, and they've always have to a certain extent, but it's just so much more important nowadays. And the best way to do that is to go after relevancy with your PBN domains, to own them, to have the pop mentality, #PopLife. Right? You got to make sure that you guys are going after the right stuff. So I want to give you 50% off. Just to be cool, all right? We're giving you 50% off. Also, look at this fancy animation. I put a lot of time into that. Totally didn't. But I'm going to give you 50% off. So, guys, this is only for the first 25 people to jump in. We've got hundreds of people on this webinar, okay? And, this is it's not an inexpensive tool, right? It is just not an inexpensive tool. The reason being it's going to save you so much money in buying domains and time, which, P.S., is the most valuable resource we all have, right? Who wants to be, the reason we all got into online marketing is not to be a desk jockey, nerding out, pushing our glasses up, and sitting behind a computer for, 15 hours a day. That sucks. That is not cool. The reason we all became online marketers and SEOs is so that we could live whatever the hell kind of life we wanted to, right? So we could make money. So you want to invest in tools that give you leverage. The best tool in your SEO campaign, period, is going to be Domain Reanimator. Now, I'm a little biased. However, I was not a part of Domain Reanimator in the beginning. The only reason I got behind it and endorse it the way I do is because it's something that changed my career. It changed my rankings, it changed my bank account, and it changed the amount of time I was sitting behind the computer. I mean, I was working my fingers down to nubs. I mean, I know we've all been there. I don't know where you are in your SEO career right now, but you've definitely been there, right? You've been there where you've just been like, holy shit, I've been building links all day. And you guys are lucky if you got in. Back 10 years ago, I had to build all my own links manually. So I was building link wheels and mini nets by actually going out and dropping links all over the place and linking them to each other. I don't know if you remember any of that, Michael.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, it's just crazy, Even before, some of these scrapers came out, I was out there, and how many times did you have to have open in order to verify one domain that you were keeping at auction? You were keeping up at like a GoDaddy auction.
Oh, I had an alarm set. I had an app on my phone and an alarm set.
Yeah. You had to have Majestic open. You had to have Ahrefs. Then you needed to have the archive.org open. You needed to have everything open. You needed to see how many drops the thing had. That is all at a glance. Fresh and historic metrics, all at a glance inside of Domain Reanimator. Not to mention the thing, once you pick up the domain for $8, or if if you find a good honey code, you can get these domains for $2. They're ready for you to buy. So that's the beauty of expired domains, and they're going to be super relevant. You can search relevancy, play around with the tool. You guys jump in. There's no contracts. You don't have to stay for more than the period that you sign up for, whether that's a month or if you just want to do a week or whatever you want. DRA July 50. Use it. It'll get you 50% off. Nice. Chris says I'm in. Just bought it. I'm in. Nice. Got lots of. I haven't tried. Yeah.
It's Darren. What's up, man?
Darren, crashing my party again.
Yeah. Listen, so I'm not biased on this at all because I'm separate from this. Now, this is not part of my project. It's not in my webinar. I just happened to be listening in the background. I was doing some other work. For those of you who don't know, I'm a former Googler. I do a lot of SEO.
You kind of broke up.
Oh, sorry about that. Former
Googler.
Yeah, former Googler. And when I had my agency,
you worked at Google, right?
What's that?
As in, you worked for Google.
Yeah, right. So when I had my agency, we were doing mostly client SEO back in the early, the mid 2000s, late 2000s, and then 2010. I had literally a full-time employee at $4,000 a month. It was $25 an hour, just finding domains, full-time. That person is now replaced, not including the tools, which was, Register Compass at the time. It was TVS Solutions. It was, Majestic SEO. At the time, it was SEO Mods. At the time, it was archive.org. All those things were open, and those monthly subscription fees, plus the $4,000 a month for the person, plus the benefits, all into one tool now. So I only use DRA for all my. It's just, it's not my webinar. I'm not here to promote anything. It's just, the ability to do this all in one finite tool it's ridiculous. The amount of power this has behind it. So I just want to add that to it. That's it. Bye. Thanks.
Dude, I really appreciate it, man. That's so cool to hear. And you know what? I second that. That's the reason when Nate and Jimmy, by the way, I don't know if you guys know Nate Fisher or Jimmy, they're my partners on this. These guys are two of the best developers and coders I've ever met. They built this thing, and this is the third iteration of Domain Reanimator. We took all the advice, all the feedback from all of you out there, and we implemented it because Nate and Jimmy, if they hear it and they agree with it, they'll put it in like that. So literally, there is not a feature, and within our community. And by the way, guys, if you want to join the Domain Reanimator community, just go search Domain Reanimator on Facebook, and we'll gladly let you in, of course. But within the community, we've done a ton of polls, and Michael, you help us manage that page too, which I greatly appreciate. But we're always talking to people, we're always listening, we're always running polls, and I don't think we could jam another feature into Domain Reanimator. We've literally taken near to every single suggestion and put it into the tool. We wanted it just to be the most comprehensive Swiss Army knife of SEO that it can be. And the thing is sharp. It just works well. It works fast. It finds domains. It cuts down your time. It cuts down your monetary investment, and it increases your rankings like crazy, especially if you're focusing on relevancy, like we've learned on this webinar. And more or less, in a very direct way, it increases the amount of digits you have in your bank account. I don't know how else to put it. Save time, make money. It's very straightforward. So I want to give you guys 50% off. Just drop DRA July 50 in when you're doing that, and that's it. I don't think we accept PayPal, Ahmad. But if you want to reach out to me on Facebook, just shoot me a PM. Find me. It's just Brian Burt, and you'll find me. Good, Thomas, you're in, man. Great. It says, been thinking a while about it, but that half discount is pretty sweet. It is pretty sweet, man.
Yeah,
I would use it. I would, if you guys, this is only for the first 25 people. So, we had hundreds and hundreds of people on this webinar, so it may be gone. I would jump over there now. I don't have like a running tally of how many people have accepted this, but we're going to do it for the first 25 people. Jump over there. Okay, and grab it now before it's gone. Guys, thank you so much. Michael, thank you for being on this webinar, my friend.
That was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Dude, how great was this information, you guys? Great. Roger
I just want to say you're welcome for all the insights from my side, too. Just want to make that very clear that you're very all welcome.
Yeah, Darren, I don't know what we would do without you, man. Jesus.
That would have been a bust, yeah.
So Roger says, can I upgrade now? Can I do that? Yeah, dude, you can do that. The 50% off applies to all packages right now. And believe it or not, if you guys want to jump in on an annual, I don't think I actually restricted it at all. So if you want to jump in on an annual or a weekly or a monthly, whatever, this applies universally. So jump in. Last things last, I should say. We've got one last thing here, right, Michael? We've got a checklist, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah. And it's pretty much
how would our audience go about jumping in on that?
I don't know. Is there a way can we email it to them or something, or?
Yeah, I can put the link here in the in the box, and they can all get that. I can make a new slide. Totally up to you. Is it a link, or what do you have?
Actually, I got, I wasn't able to make it all fancy because I was getting ready for the webinar, but I got a Word doc, and it's actually got pretty much the same the details that we went on the webinar, but it has like actual all the citations and stuff on it.
Sure. Why don't I do this? Why don't I go ahead and, guys, everyone that's on this webinar, you will receive an email from me, and it will include the checklist from Michael.
Yeah, I'll get that to you.
And sorry we didn't have a download link, no big deal. But Anthony says, I already have DRA, I want the checklist. We will absolutely get that out to you this evening.
Oh, yeah.
The cool thing about GoToWebinar is that it gives you all the email addresses of everybody that's on, and it lets me know if you stuck around to the end or not. So for those of you that did, congrats, you're getting the checklist. And yeah, thank you so much, Ben. I mean, it's really been super insightful. Maybe we can get you back on for a follow-up webinar here at some point.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome.
I'd love to do it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody on this webinar. Can we get a keyboard head smash? One final keyboard head smash for Dr. Michael Milas. Nice. Lots of them coming in.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Jump in on DRA. Use this. This is the biggest we've ever done. Probably won't do it again. More of an experiment just to see how it goes. All right, guys. Take care. Big kiss. We love you. Good night.